Today's video, or today's lesson, will be about solving equations, but more specifically how to determine the number of solutions to an equation by solving the equation. So first we need to start off with the fact that there are three types of solutions to linear equations. You have no solutions, exactly one solution, and infinitely many solutions. So really, to determine if an equation has one of these types of solutions, all we need to do is solve it and look at the answer. Okay. Now, because we're going to be focusing on the answer, the way when we solve it, when we get down to that last line, what is it going to look like? So for no solutions, let's zoom in here. So for no solutions is when you have a number equal to another number that's not itself. For example, 9 equals -9. That's not a true statement. So that means that whatever that equation was is going to yield no solutions. Or if you have 1 equals 5, that's also not true. So the answer to that equation would be no solutions. Now, if you have exactly one solution, that means that when you actually solve the equation, you have an answer like x equals 5 or w equals -7 or y equals 0. When you have a situation like that, you have exactly one solution. And the last type of solutions are infinitely many solutions. Now, with infinitely many solutions, when you solve it, it's gonna say the same thing on both sides. So 4 equals 4, or -3 equals -3, or 0 equals 0, something to that effect, but it's going to have the same thing, the same exact thing on both sides. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a few problems and we're going to solve a few problems to see what the solutions would be, the number of solutions to those problems. And number one, so how many solutions does this equation have? We have 2 times the group of x plus 6 equals -3x plus 9. First, you know what we like to do, we always want to rewrite our equation, and then we can go ahead and start and begin to solve this equation. And remember, we're going to be focusing on what the answer looks like to determine if it has one solution, no solutions, or infinitely many solutions. All right, so we're going to divide it, and let's go ahead and begin to solve. We have to distribute over here. That's going to give us 2x plus 12 equals -3x plus 9. Let's go ahead and get our x's on the same side. So when I do that, I'm going to be left with, I'm going to move the smaller x, so we're going to subtract 2x. That's going to leave me with 12 equals -5x plus 9. And then at that point, we can subtract 9 from both sides. That will give us 3 is equal to -5x. And if our last step, we can divide both sides by -5. That will give us an answer of x is equal to -3/5. So if we recall correctly, whenever it has x equals a number or a variable equals some number, all right, that means that we're going to have exactly one solution. So the answer to this is exactly one solution. All right, number 2. How many solutions does this equation have? We have 6 times the group of y plus 2 equals 6y plus 7. So of course, we want to go ahead and begin by rewriting our equation. And then after we do that, we can go ahead and distribute. So that's 6 times y, 6 times 2. Make sure we cut our equation in 2. And let's go ahead and write the result of the distributive property. 6y plus 12 equals 6y plus 7. Now we like to start by moving our variables and combining those together. Both of those are going to cancel out on each side, and we're going to get something that says 12 equals positive 7. So At this point, we know by looking at this that in no situation will the amount of 12 ever equal 7 of the same equal type of amount. So, other words, we would say that this is not true. And because it's not true, that means that it has no solutions. So, once again, number 2, no solutions. Number 3, how many solutions does number 3 have? So we have negative 4c plus 12 equals negative 2 times the group of 2c and negative 6. So first thing we always want to do is rewrite our problem. And after we rewrite it, we want to show that we're dividing our equation into two sides, a left side and a right side. So we do that with a line straight down the middle. And most of us already noticed that on the right side, we can go ahead and distribute. So when we distribute on the right hand side, we get negative 4c plus 12. And everything that's on the left hand side, we just bring that down. Now we want to continue with the variables, and we're going to combine those variables by adding 4c to both sides. But as we notice, the 4c's are going to cancel out, which just leaves us with a positive 12 on the left and a positive 12 on the right. And when we have a situation where both sides are equal to each other, we know that that is a true statement. Therefore, this has infinite many solutions. We can look at number 4. Once again, we're still looking for how many solutions does this equation have. So we'll start off by rewriting it once again and then dividing our equation into two parts, a left side and a right side. And on the left side, we can go ahead and combine our like terms, positive 4x and negative 6x. When we combine those, that's going to give us a negative 2x. We bring down the positive 7. And on the right side, we're still going to have negative 2x and positive 3. Now we can go ahead and group our like terms together by adding 2x to both sides. The 2x's on both sides cancel out, and we're left with positive 7 equals positive 3. This is a not true statement because 7 will never be the same as 3, and which makes this no solutions. All right, number 5. Once again, we're looking for how many solutions does this one have. We're going to rewrite it first, as always, and then divide it into two parts, a left part and a right part. And on the right side, we can combine our like terms. We have a negative 7y and a positive 10y. When we combine those, that's going to make positive 3y minus 12. And on the left hand side, we have 9y minus 4. Now we want to go ahead and continue to get our like terms together. So we're going to subtract 3y from both sides. Or we could say we're adding negative 3y to both sides. Either way, that's going to give us 6y minus 4 on the left equals a negative 12 on the right. Now we have to continue by adding positive 4 to both sides. That's going to give us 6y equals negative 8. And our last step here is going to be to divide both sides by positive 6. Our answer is going to be y equals negative 8 over 6. But we know we can divide both of those by 2. So our simplified answer will be y equals negative 4/3. And if we remember, when we have just the answer, an exact answer where the variable equals a number, that is going to mean that we have exactly one solution. We'll look at one last problem, and that'll conclude today's lesson. So we're still trying to figure out how many solutions it has. So once again, we're going to start off by rewriting our problem. And then on the right side, after we divide it into two parts, on the right side, we're going to combine our like terms. Negative 2x, positive 7x. That's going to give us a grand total of positive 5x, and we bring down the positive 7. And on the left side, we're still going to have 5x plus 7. As we continue, we'll go ahead and group our like terms together by subtracting 5x from both sides. The 5x's cancel out, and we're left with 7 equals 7. And we know this to be a true statement, which means when both sides are exactly equal to each other, this is infinite many solutions.